Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Delaney. I am a strength and conditioning coach and a neurotyping specialist. Today I'm going to be talking to you about nutrition during Ramadan. Now, obviously when you break your fast, it is not just about getting in your next meal after fasting. It is also a time to spend with your friends and family. So what I'm going to suggest is not changing the types of foods that you're eating, but rather just to add these types of foods that I'm going to suggest to make sure that your body is still feeling healthy and feeling good. So firstly, I'd like to suggest complex carbohydrates. So basically, these are carbs that look difficult to digest. This would include something like brown bread, pasta, rice. Now what this does is it promotes a healthy, long, slow release of serotonin, which is a feel-good chemical in your brain, and it also is very important in aiding digestion. The next thing I'd like to suggest is high-quality proteins. So I've mentioned before that tryptophan is an amino acid that is not naturally found in the body, and it needs to be found in foods that we take in. These could be high quality foods like chicken, lean beef, also other sources besides meat like eggs and nuts. The next thing I'd like to suggest is fruits. So basically fruits that are high in vitamin C, like oranges for example. During your time of fasting, you're going for long periods without eating and for long periods without drinking water. Obviously, you're going to feel more tired. You need to make sure that your immune function is still high so that you're fighting off anything from the outside world. The next thing I'd like to suggest is thick, dark, leafy green vegetables. So this would include something like kale or spinach leaves. These are very high in iron and magnesium, and so like I've said, during your time of fasting, it's common to feel fatigued, or maybe you'll feel like you have a headache due to dehydration. And if you had to go to the doctor and say that you're feeling these symptoms, they will most likely ask about your intake of iron and magnesium. And one of the easiest ways to get in these is through something like dark green leafy vegetables. As I've said, I think spinach is my #1 recommendation. The next type of food I would like to suggest is foods that are high in good quality fat. So this would include something like fish, or namely salmon for example. So basically, high quality fats contain omega-3s. Omega-3s are very good for fighting depression and stress hormones. On top of that, what you can take in is foods that are high in potassium. So healthy levels of potassium are very good for combating high stress levels. Foods that are high in potassium would include bananas or avocados. Just be careful because these foods are also very high in calories. So my final 2 suggestions would have to do with sleep and digestion. So with digestion, you're going for long periods of time without eating, and then when you break your fast, you're sitting down and you're spending a lot of time eating foods in a very short space of time. This often puts our body in a place where it's difficult to digest all of the food. So what I'd suggest is taking in different types of teas. There are many different types of teas that you can drink. The only thing I'd say is make sure that it is a tea that is not high in caffeine. If you're drinking it before bed, you don't want to be kept awake because of the caffeine. Any tea that you can add ginger and lemon in would be great. I think these are awesome in aiding digestion. Lastly, on sleep, if you can take in small quantities of carbohydrates just before you go to bed. Now, we've just spoken about digestion. I don't want to tell you to eat a whole meal just before you go to sleep, but just a small portion, maybe just a handful of carbohydrates before you go to bed. What this does is it increases serotonin and melatonin in your body, which relaxes your body, makes you feel good, and should aid in a better, healthy quality sleep. These are my tips on nutrition during Ramadan. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you a Ramadan Kareem. Bye-bye.